Right, it was a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, patch 4.2, Shadows of Change Content Additions, Part 1, Cafe. You're like me. You used to like Total War, Warhammer. And then they got greedy, and lazy, and sloppy. So now we're on a hiatus until they shapen things up. Now we're gonna see what they're gonna do as their first step after their. You can see the vlog here. Well, it's not a message from the Total War leadership, this one. You know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't know what it is, it's basically them telling, oh, we're sorry, we're gonna do better. We're sorry we got greedy, we're sorry we sold you $25 Lord Pack. We're sorry. We're not gonna lower the price though. We're gonna add more content to it to get worth it. So let's see what they're doing, and I will reflect on it as I. Hi everyone, I'm Richard Aldrich, game director for Total War Warhammer. As a side note, I don't have anything against Richard. Not one of those involved in the turn the greed on Total War Warhammer. Today I want to share some news with you on the new content that will be arriving soon for Shadow Exchange with patch 4.0. 4.2. Free for existing owners and bolstering the DLC for anyone picking it up post patch 4.2. I haven't picked it up yet. That's my statement. I do not get it until it is good. I'll be covering what you can expect going forward from the Total War Warhammer series, taking a peek behind the curtains as to how we go planning, creating and making our deals. I have a close look at the new additions Grand Cafe will be receiving in support of 4.2. Reflecting on Shadows of Change. Reflecting is, if we are to believe the sources some other content creators have, such as Legend, is that they made a lot of money with Shadow of Change. In fact, they made the most money out of any DLC, Shadow of Change. Well, any Lord Pack, I believe, specific. I'll get straight to it. We didn't give you enough characters and units to play with at the original release of Shadow of Change. They didn't do this because it was a Lord Pack. Lord Packs had a set amount of lords and units they give. That's why they used to cost. Well, they used to cost $10. Now, then they cost 15, and we were okay with 15. Now it costs 25, so you know. They had to draw the line at some point. We believe we can put this right for you, having listened to your feedback these past months to provide you with better and more varied options for your armies. We know that you, our community, are as passionate about the game as we are, and we're pleased to say that many of your suggestions are being enacted. Not all ideas and requests are possible, though. The era of Karl Franz, as you come to expect, a rich and exciting setting for Total War, and we work closely with the Warhammer studio to ensure that the content for this era for Warhammer is faithfully represented in our game as possible. Such as a couple of spearmen being able to poke down a runic enforced gate, but Total War Sieges is another thing to discuss. Which other people have done way better than me. So yeah, what he's saying here, this is just empty words. It doesn't mean anything, actually. It's just like leading into what they're gonna show. We know they don't listen to our feedback to start with, because we have a lot of evidence about that, a lot of bugs that never got fixed or reflected upon or told they were gonna fix or fixed before when people played months before Total Warhammer 3 came out. Not me, I don't have that kind of luxury, but people like Legend who did. That was one of his main gripes, that none of the things that he brought up got fixed. Bugs like he spent time finding out existed and so on. Continuing. All of the forces featured within the Shadow Exchange DLC can look forward to a sizable collection of reinforcements. They won't be adding Hag Mothers as generic lord, as Mother Ostankia is the only Hag Mother of Kislev. Similarly, The relationship between gospodars and Ungols is taking a backseat, as we look less at the tensions of historic Kislevite culture, and more at what defines Kislev as a unified military force in the era of Karl Franz. Evidently that's polar bears, and more polar bears. Similarly, we won't be adding beaks to Songors, as while this avian characteristic occurs in other Warhammer settings, these elite Gors in Old World represent those beastmen who have drawn the eye of the Changer of Ways, rather than totally separate offshoot breed, but as ever, we aim to ensure that whatever we add to Total Warhammer 3 is an authentic experience of the world of Warhammer as possible. Just putting it out there, the Age of Sigmar game did give us beaked Songors. If you want to play with beaked Songors, you can help the developers of that game. They are in a rough spot now after making that game that didn't do very well. You can buy that one. What to expect moving forward? Wait, what did I say? Realms of Ruin was the game, by the way. Age of Sigmar. Looking to the future, the team and I love Warhammer Universe and want to make as much content as possible. Whether that be to add further exciting characters like the Golden Knight, spectacular units and creatures. Yes, I'm looking at you, mighty Hotpot, or rather unexplored. So the Hotpot is a halfling. How should we define it? As a ballista? Like a giant slingshot that shoots a cauldron of food. Still plan to make many more DLCs for Total Warhammer 3. Some of them, like Thrones of Decay, following the same premise and composition as Shadows of Change. Right, so this is the new standard. What he's saying here. Let's see. Where we will add to and develop 3 existing races from across the Warhammer, accompanied by our patches and updates. This will give us the opportunity to go back to some of your most beloved races and give them some attention. Below I have laid out what you can expect to see from Shadow of Change and Thrones of Decay in terms of content and features for those products moving forward. DLC content, Shadow of Change and Thrones of Decay. No, I get it. So he's not lumping up the two together to show, oh, look at all this content is what both of them will have to give us each. So 3 legendary lords, each playable in the Realms of Chaos and Immortal Empires campaign. Unique gameplay mechanics for each legendary lord. I remember when they said, when we got the Chaos Wars, I remember very heartily how they said that the reason we got 1 less legendary lord with that faction pack was because they made them so very, very, very unique from each other. Completely different ways to play the Chaos Wars. This turned out to not be the case. They're extremely similar, all 3 of them. Their campaign experience. It's only like, do you want the bonus to get more cows? Do you want bonus to get more dwarves? Or do you want to get a bonus to get more monsters? Well, fire monsters. Cows are still monsters. Unique, 3 legendary heroes, 1 per race. So instead of 4 legendary lords, we now get the 3 lords and 3 legendary heroes. Before that, we used to get 4 lords and 1 legendary hero. 3 lords, 1 per race. 3 heroes, 1 per race. 5 units, infantry, cavalry, monster, etc. per race. 3 regiment of renown per race. 1 free LC character, a called Hellbrass for Shadow Change and Legendary Lord for Thrones of Decay. I wonder who that could be. Thrones of Decay is going to be 3 factions, so it's going to be Nurgle. It's going to be Empire, because that's the 2 who are like fighting each other in Thrones of Decay, the campaign thing. Who would the 3rd faction be? Don't know. Potential further content. new spell lore, new mounts, new additional free DLC, subject to the IP theming of the DLC and where applicable. Alright, so potential further content. This is just like, this is 100 words. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, we could do this. Maybe. Who knows? So don't expect new spell lore. New mounts. I mean, they're probably just gonna reuse old monsters, put the character on top. New addition of free DLC. I mean, I expect this. It would be nice if it went back to this, because we have not got very much free DLC with Warhammer 3. Back in Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1, we got some free DLC every time we got a DLC. Like the John Dark Bretonia character lady when we got Tomb Kings. At least I think it was with Tomb Kings. Could have been someone else, other DLC. Maybe it was with Grom and Elfarion, yeah. Anyways, continuing. Comparison chart. Shadow of Change at launch. 3 lords, 3 heroes, legendary. 1 regular lord, 1 regular hero, 10 units, 9 roars, 0 magic lords, 1 free DLC. Shadow of Change with update 4.2. A legendary lords free, legendary heroes free +2, lords free +2, heroes free +5 +2. Units 16 +6. Roars 9. Magic lords 1 +1. Free DLC 2. 1. Alright, it was a bit confusing how they wrote that, but they're just showing how much they're increasing. So you get 6 more units, 2 new heroes, blah 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 blah, so on so. Back again for invaluable feedback since the release of Shadow Change, and in particular the thoughts on improving the rosters and having parity across the races with the content we are adding as a part of them. Mentioned above, each race will now have a legendary lord, a legendary hero, lord, hero, 5 units, and 3 regiments of renown. This, we hope, allow you to lead the thematic armies that are better connected to the legendary lords in the DLC. Add both low-tier troops and big centerpiece monsters, start to fill some of the gaps and needs of the races in the game that you ask for. Fill some of the gaps. I don't like this term. This is how we get homogenized factions where everyone is good at everything. No one has weaknesses anymore. Drop the flavor. Everyone should have like elite anti-large infantry. Everyone should have armor-piercing ranged units. Everyone should have a big single entity monster and so on. Where possible, with further content, we will also be adding thematic lores of magic, mounts for new and existing characters to make use of, making some much requested free DLC where it makes sense. Katharine's sled, for example. Don't really care for the sled, but if it looks nice. I hope that everything I mentioned above looks much more in line with what your own expectations. Or the DLC. As we move to significantly bridge the gap to our past products like Chaos Wars in what we will offer moving forward. Starting with Shadow Change, but you can't really bridge the gap because Chaos Wars is a whole new faction. It is not an existing faction getting a few new toys. Can't really compare a new faction to some additional stuff to an already existing factions. But that's what he's trying to do here. He's trying to... Oh yeah, but you get just as much as you got in this deal, except like 3 skins and some new models. There are existing stuff. Split up into 3 different factions, by the way. Keep Grand Cafe editions. Alright, here's the big part of... Oh my god, wait. We're all just... I just noticed the scroll bar here. We're gonna be here for a while. Grand Cafe editions. To set the scene, when we went back to look at what we could add to enrich the offering of the Grand Cafe in the Shadow Change, We focused heavily on the theme that surrounds the Jade Dragon, his celestial court, having his eyes and ears everywhere. Having the ability to quickly react and protect his empire, the Emperor, in all intents and purposes. This meant plenty of conversations with Games Workshop in looking to find characters and units that best complement this approach. That made sense from a lore perspective. Looking into what we hadn't included previously in Total Warhammer 3 or Shadow Exchange quickly helped us fill in some of the gaps in Grand Cafe's roster. Such as with the Gate Master, the Celestial Lion. The lion in particular was something that almost made a cut from the original release of Shadow Exchange. Super excited to see it now in the rosters, both on monsters units and a mount option. But it also got us to look a little further afield too. You will see with our first ever legendary hero for Grand Cafe, Saitang the Watcher. Alright, so a lot of these just saying that they talked with Games Workshop. See what lore-friendly units could they add to C4, which ended up being the Gate Master, Lion, and Saitang. Sentinel of the Heavens, a legendary lord. Oh, look at. Oh, it's a fucking. What is this guy's called again? Iron Sentinels? Yeah, it's the fucking giant statue, guys. Alright, that's unexpected. I expected like a little normie human. This is actually sick. Probably gonna recycle the skeleton archer, skeleton giant. The archer animation on this, which I hope they don't. I hope they give him unique animation for that. They'd probably do if he's gonna pull out arrows from this quiver here on the hip, as the giants just like materializes their magic arrows. Saitang represents an ever-watching protective figure, not dissimilar to Yuan Bu, but as you will see is a fair bit larger. Saitang gives us the opportunity to expand on Grand Cafe's use of magical constructs, something which is core to the great nation in how it protects itself, along with giving them devastating long-range artillery potential. Oh no, them, not they. I was slightly confused there, thinking they would give us multiple Saitangs. Saitang also lends themselves nicely to the connection the Jade Dragon has to the winds of Asir, within parentheses, heavens, and the more magical elements of Grand Cafe. Known as the Guardian of the Sky, the Heavenly Bowman, or commonly to the people of the Southern Provinces simply as the Watcher, Saitang is the great sentinel that stands atop of the mountains of heaven. Towering over sentinels, oh, he's even bigger than them. I guess that makes sense since he's a hero version. Saitang is an imposing sight with his outstretched wings and great stone-feathered helm. Those who have witnessed Saitang in battle claim no armor or barrier can turn aside the arrows it fires from its great wind bow, the shafts piercing the ranks of enemies and even the iron heights of fell beasts. And though Saitang cannot fly in the true sense, its power allows it to leap great distances, even jumping from mountain peak to mountain peak, defense of the Empire. New lore as told by Games Workshop. Well, that's cool. I like this. This probably stops him from getting the Silostra allegations. So getting upset when Silostra was added instead of some boring pirate dude from an off-brand Warhammer game no one actually plays. Above you can see the first step take when designing and adding content to our DLC. Starting with a thumbnail image. Use a quick and flexible method to work with Games Workshop in first realizing the character or unit. Its job is to get across the scale, flavor, functionality, and work required to bring this model to life, but be easily adaptable to suit the needs of the IP and the game before we move on to the next stage of creation, the concept art. Actually, this is concept art as well. Otherwise, trying to make a difference. This is like the initial design is a concept sketch, even though this is very nicely drawn. I wouldn't call it a sketch. And this is the like E model. Oh, this is a very small picture. 1024 by 380. Back in my day, this would be a big picture, but live in that day anymore. Alright, so here it is, showing off how the wings are built, like what's like layered. So the red stuff is the furthest back, and you have these things in the middle. Then some of these parts are like front before those parts, etc. It's just clarity for make the 3D model. Oh, there he is. Oh my god. Look more at that. When entering the constant stage of the creation process, we're looking to up the visual quality of the model from the thumbnail, adding details, looking at materials and textures to use. This will act as a comprehensive blueprint to guide our 3D character artists in the creation of the final model where to play with the game. This is a sounding board for how our animation and design will work, tweaking the size and scale of body parts to work with the game engine. Creating a proxy model to test things out makes the fun of each character. God, I hope to get a new engine soon. Please get a new engine before you make your next big IP game. Fucking Warscape is held together with bubblegum and toothpicks at this point. And they just add more bubblegum to try to make it last a little bit longer. Is it still called Warscape, or did they change it to something else? I don't remember. I know they had like 2 different engines at some point. Then they moved over from one to the other. Alright, there is. Fighting some Nash Marauders. Being a very big boy. Alright, so his melee attacks is that he fires the bow as well. As long as he doesn't take ammo. He might have infinite. But yeah, he looks pretty sweet. I mean, I like the Sentinels by default, even though they just recycled Lubu's animations from Free Kingdoms. Yeah, these wings are really pretty. Yeah, this is a cool unit. Definitely gonna be a centerpiece for players. We like our big stumpy units when they can actually be stumpy and not fall over and die to 2 halberds. Saitang the Washer is a giant-sized legendary hero, which, disregarding mounted characters, is a rare sight in Total War Warhammer 3. Much like the Bone Giant of the Tomb Kings, Saitang uses a magical bow to fire artillery-grade projectiles into enemies. Saitang is also relatively strong in close combat, with good defensive stats and the ability to buff other nearby constructs. How many constructs does Grand Cafe have? Guess the Lions, Sentinels. Can't think of anything else. Top of my head. Maybe the drum? No. No, that's not a construct. It's a drum. Titan doesn't fly, being a construct, even with those mighty wings, but can jump large distances, close the gap of the enemy. If you want an example of this, just play what is the exile dude called again? Fuck, I forgot. Born exile dude. What's your name? Scarbrand, there we go. Just play Scarbrand and it will probably have like the exact same jump, same distance. Just with his own wings. Construct. With the introduction of Sighting into the game, we have reevaluated the role of constructs on a cafe roster. The Terracotta Sentinel, that's what they call, not Iron Sentinels. Mixing that up with another game I'm playing. And both Guardian Lions are now considered constructs. With the same rules as constructs found in Tomb King's roster, Saitang has the ability that synergizes with this type of unit. Tough and heavy. Saitang has a high amount of armor, which enables it to shrug off most attacks from non-armor piercing sources. As a heavier character, Saitang will be able to send smaller entities flying with ease. Alright, the problem with high amount of armor is that it doesn't matter when you get shot by 3 million arrows. That is why projectiles is the meta in Total War Warhammer. Well, at least in campaign. I'm not gonna speak for the multiplayer scene, that's it. But yeah, saying that he has a lot of armor doesn't do much. We already saw what happened to the Dread Saurian, which is unfortunately dreadful. Giant bow. Armed with the wind bow, Satan can deliver long-range attacks and singular target shots with devastating precision. Well, it is nice that he is precise, just like the bone giants are. They're pretty precise. Gate Master of the Celestial Cities. Hero unit. You may have seen the art of this character since the release of Total Warhammer 3. Character which didn't quite make the final cut. But he is now here, stand tall and add a bit of melee strength to your Grand Cafe frontline. Gate Warriors are the profession soldiers of the Grand Cafe, and Gate Master of the Celestial Cities are their leaders. To earn the title of the Grand Master, a Jade Warrior must have served in the defense of their city. Many are veterans of the Empire's many wars. Like their soldiers, a Gate Master is trained in defensive warfare and how to best defend their city, and as such know how to lead the lay of the land before a battle. If you're useful in enacting the will of their Lord Magistrate, trust their Gate Master above all other officers in their armies. That is implying that people are still buying the Lord Magistrate to begin with. He's an obsolete dogshit unit, but maybe they changed him in Shadow of the Change for all I know. But last time I saw, no one wants to fucking use the Magistrate because it's garbage. I think it's pretty much unrivaled the worst legendary lord in the entire game. Gameplay overview. The Gate Master is a defensive line-holding hero with a hybrid weaponry. Using his abilities, he can buff the defense of nearby troops while shooting enemies with his crossbow. Oh, that's what he means. From behind the main battle line. Fun fact with the Gate Master is that the first hero with conventional crossbow that we have put into the game. Dark Elf repeaters notwithstanding. Which will serve the armies of Cafe well in many different scenarios. First hero with the conventional crossbow. Alright. Hybrid combatant. Yeah, that was my first thought, that he was like the ranged Dark Elf Lord. Form. And for a different faction. Hybrid combatant. The Gate Master uses a combination of sword, shield, and crossbow. I'm a very adaptable unit in all forms of combat. Where is the crossbow in the picture? I guess it's not there. Defensive. Gate Master excels at defensive warfare, with several abilities above friendly battle line. Mounted. Mounted on a warhorse, Gate Master can quickly move between the battle lines to where he's needed the most. Also makes him a high priority by the AI to shoot him down. It makes it easier as well because he's standing above his fellow units. I won't blend in with them as easily. Great Moonbird. Monster and monstrous mount. Continuing the theme of the Celestial Court, to give Grand Cafe some added flying power, we have added the Great Moonbird. It's both a monstrous single entity flying unit and a mount option for a variety of characters field. Favorite of the Empress, the Great Moonbirds are found in the highest peaks of mountains of heaven. They are said to make their nest in the craters of Mansleep, silver moon of the Warhammer world, and fly down to Earth when called by their Empress, their most powerful astromancers. Fearsome to behold in battle, the Moonbird are often wreathed in silvery flames, or moonfire, which burns the enemies of the Empire who come into contact with it. Powerful lords, especially wizards of the Celestial Court, might even be granted a Moonbird as a mount, though it is unusually only for a short time before the creature once more returns to the heavens. Does it have two? No, its mouth is open. I was thinking, does it have two beaks? No. Oh, that's a big crow. It looks cool. Very long talons. I don't think it's depicted on this picture, but here it certainly is. I just want to say, this fucking saddle sucks ass. Like, you would fall off that straight away. This is not built to keep you in place while flying around on this kind of thing. Gameplay overview. Similar to the High Phoenix, I might as well scroll. The Great Moon Bird is a magical flying monster with flaming attacks and powerful AoE vortex ability. Oh, so it's like the Arcane Phoenix on the dot. Grand, so new strategies will become viable in battle. Wait, what is the sentence? Grand, comma. So now new strategies will become viable in battle. Oh, never. Ignore it. I think it's a weird sentence structure. Whether it's providing air-to-air defense for sky junks or striking deep in enemy lines, the Great Moonbird is also a mount for the Astromancer, which offers them a whole new level of battlefield. Yeah, so this is what I meant with homogenizing a faction. Because before, Cafe only had the sky junks and the other hot air balloons flying in the sky, not counting the legendary lords turning into the dragon form. So that was a way to deal with them. Like you would get out some cheap flying units like Furious, or non-cheap, but flying units as well. What are they called? Chosen with Chosen on discs or whatever. One Slanesh Singe got. You can just go straight for them. And I think that was fine because the junks do have a lot of firepower on them. Like, they are ridiculously deadly. Especially if you run a slow army. They just blast up knights and other heavy stuff like nothing. But yeah, now there's a chance for there being one of these birds there that can stop that from happening. Well, it depends how effective it is. It could get trashed by units for all I know. But I wouldn't think of it, and the fact that Astromancers is gonna have access to this means that the AI will always have access to this. Because we know the AI loves pumping out characters, heroes and lords. So yeah, they got a bit more oh, Celestial Lion. Actually a lion. Moving on. Did I read all this? Yeah, I think it. Celestial Lion, monster and monster. Probably my favorite model of the new additions to the Grand Cafe. Celestial Lion's beauty and strength is second to none. Acting as both a single entity monster's flying unit and a mount option for a variety of characters from the Grand Cafe. The Celestial Lion will strike terror in those that stand within its way. Winged lions exist in the east, believed to have descended from natural beast warped during the coming of chaos to the world. Unlike the felled manticores of the west, these celestial beasts have been purified by the power of the Dragon Emperor, and live within the sacred hunting grounds of the Force of the Moon. Favored sorcerers or warriors may be gifted such a creature by the dragons, riding into battle and striking fear to the foes of the Empire. Alright. Pretty nice. Like a big white lion with a red mane and parrot wings. I like the helmet thingy going. This is basically Cafe getting a griffin. Celestial Lion is another flying unit. It's another flying single entity monster for the armies of Cafe. When is the Empire gonna get single entity griffins they can recruit? So they actually have something in the air beyond heroes and lords. Because I'm pretty sure they don't have like wild griffin, whatever they call it, when like non-mounted version. Similar to the griffin or manticore, it is able to provide air support on a budget compared to the highest tier units, like the Great Moonbird. The Celestial General can also make use of this beast as a mount. And the Celestial General was the new hero, right? No, this is Gatemaster. Let's see, Celestial General. Alright, that's the new lord they gave us. No wait, it's a lord. Mount option for let's see. Fast. This lion has exceptional ground mobility. It's perfect for harassing tactics or flanking. Airborne. Flying high above the battlefield, Celestial Lion can traverse otherwise impassable terrain. Fearsome, utilizing the Fearsome Roar ability and the Terror attribute. Celestial Lion can strike fear into the hearts of nearby enemies. So the Fearsome Roar, this sounds exactly like the bloody roar that Carl Franz Griffin has, the Deathclaw, it's called, if I remember correctly. They just gave this to all the lions. I mean, I admit, I have not played Empires in literally years. But I think the regular Griffins also has the bloody roar, not just the Deathclaw. It was just like back before they were given Griffins to the other to the like the Empire Captain and the Wild. Is it called Wild Sorcerers? No, the Beast ones, Amber Wizards. There we go. Amber Wizards are given Griffin as a mount as well. Before I end today, I wanted to cover an omission I have been hoping for in Grand Cafe's roster update: an elite core infantry unit. That we have the Celestial Dragons, whatever. This is a very good reason for this, and trust me, we aren't monkeying around. More Monkey King hint. First, we explained is keeping focus on the Celestial Court and the Jade Dragon. The second being that the Celestial Courts don't have units of this type to add. That said, we only just scratched the surface of the possible content we can create for Grand Cafe. And as I mentioned earlier, we have plans to support the game with lots of new content for foreseeable future. So, instead of adding it here, we will save it for a future DLC to sell you again for another 25 euros. Or dollars if you're in the Americas. So, when can you expect patch 4.2 and all of its additions to SOC? Well, the team are working flat out to have everything ready for release. But we want to be upfront with you that there is a chance that our intended date could shift slightly. This is the true nature of video game development. Right. Video game development, true nature that they could change the release date slightly. Not like they will cut content or release an unfinished game. In spotting those last minute issues or adding the final polish, which can lead to release date changing. It's important to all of us here that we get patch 4.2 right for you. So we would rush it out before it's ready. Because they already have the DLC sold, so they're no in rush in trying to add more free content that they won't gain much from. Like some people would buy the DLC, guaranteed. But probably not a larger amount. As it stands today, we're on track to release in the middle of the month. Like I said, this would shift closer to the end of February, depending on how the remaining work goes. I'm optimistic. And the team are super energized in getting everything done and put into your hands. Yeah, he's optimistic because he's not the guy actually working on the DLC. He's a game director, which means, in layman terms, he's more like the AD guy rather than the doing guy. It's like one of those dream jobs you wish you could be. Next week, I'll be back with a deep dive on the additional units coming to Siege, along with confirmation of 4.2's release. Thanks for the time to thanks for taking the time to read this. Chat to you all next week. Rich, game director, and the Total War Warhammer team. All right, let's see. Well, that means we'll be making another reaction video to the next part when we're seeing Siege, and I assume it's going to be a third part for not Cafe, Kislev. Unless all of that is covered here in Mother Stankia. Anyway, this is introducing, this is not new stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of words. I'll give him that. It's nice that they're actually like showing the in-game model. Of course, with no blood pictures because they wouldn't buy the blood deals. Yeah, I mean they probably are gonna release Thrones of Decay, and because that's what they went on about the first third of this post. All of this, and I said this is the new. This is what we're gonna expect. This is like the new golden standard. It's gonna be this for all DLCs to come. This is the only DLC format we're gonna see from now on. Whatever this model is. The updated one. This is the only one they're gonna make from now. Because they're kinda running out of factions. I just wish it didn't cost $25. It's in the pushing range for me. But they're going on a strategy that, oh, it's too expensive, but oh, they'll buy it when it's on sale. And then they like put it on sale for like the old price they used to have it on. And then they basically just gain more money. They're still selling the same thing, except they're getting more money from the people willing to pay more. But yeah, all right. It was a good post in general. A lot of honeyed words as I was expected, but there was a lot of honesty in what to come, which I did appreciate. CA has been really poor with that in the last few years. But actually seeing pictures of in-game of like the new hero and the lion. I mean, I don't need a new like an in-game picture of this dude. This is just that dude. Would like to see a skill tree though. See if it's worthwhile to actually get. It sucks when they give us like completely dead units. Like the Proxygore Ancient comes to mind. Fun to play with, but not a very great board compared to the Saurus. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Wanna see what happens next? You can always follow the YouTubes and my Twitch, which is in the description. You can give me a follow. Wanna hit that 100 followers? No, we already have that. We just need more people to talk in the chat more frequently, and then I can maybe become first step in a Twitch program. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye bye.